Hey everybody, welcome to Joey on Wheels. I am Joey and I am on wheels. So today is August 3rd and I'm basically starting a new vlog. I feel like when I started this channel, I was like, oh, if I post, it'll be on a Monday, but don't expect one every week. And yet every week since then, it's been like, here's a new video. So yeah, I'm kind of slowly accepting this is my life now. So this morning, being it Monday, I had to record a video for my AuthorTube channel, which is now processing the video for this channel, is now uploading, all the things we like to do. I still have to caption, and then basically I can go back up to bed. My carer is working late this week, which means she gets up at 7, and because it's a shower day, I need to be done down here with work at 7 so that I can be upstairs and shower and all the rest of it before she goes to work. I think I'm going to make it because it has just turned 5 a.m. basically. And I think, by the time everything uploads and all of that stuff, I should be fine. The last few weeks, I've really struggled in the mornings on recording days because that's when I move the majority of like the footage and such and the final video from this channel onto my computer, and it takes a while for it all to transfer, as well as trying to record the video for my AuthorTube channel, and it's all a thing, or nobody like that. So I feel like in that respect, today was a very good day. It took me about 20 minutes, which normally it takes me about 6 billion hours. So, that was good. So my hope is that basically this week I will take you along as I do a few things. I have a physio appointment in person on Friday. It's also Meepo again, which, we talked about this last time. It comes around so fast. We're going to look at new cars on Saturday, simply because our car, while we love our car, it's gotten to the point now where we are spending more getting it through like the yearly checks to make it legal to drive than it's actually worth. So yeah, we've basically been saving for the last few months, and we're pretty sure we have a good chunk of money to go and buy a new car. And that process really starts this month, because next month we'd have to pay for another service MOT to get it legal to drive. It's not going to pass. It's going to cost us thousands, I am sure of that. And also our insurance renews in September, so I don't want to sort of like have a month on the old car and then have to pay them to reset it up for the new car. So yeah, that's the plan. We have like two sort of like things that the car has to be able to do. One, I have to be able to get in and out of like, the passenger seat easily, or as easy as I can in the car we have now. Otherwise that's a no starter. And two, it also has to have a space for my chair in the boot. So yeah, I mean, the chair thing has been it's been there pretty much every car I've driven in my adult life. So yeah, I say that like I drove in my childhood life. I didn't. I just meant it's been the case of every car I've ever owned. But it's just going to be, we want to find a decent car that's not going to turn into like a money pit. To be fair, when we bought our current car, it did go through the next MOT and service with nothing. So it was just like, okay, this isn't as bad as we think. But then slowly, very slowly, it has gotten to the point where it's like, you want how much now? And then there have been incidences in between the services where basically the car is undrivable or unsafe to be driven. And that's cost us a lot of money that we just don't have. So yeah, we're just basically trying to find a new car that works. We would get the same model if we could, but basically they no longer make those. You can get a slightly newer one than the one we have now, but it kind of seems like, really? No, yeah. So thankfully, my mum has agreed to come with us to look at cars because we need an adult. We say that as both of us are like 44. We still need an adult. But it's also the first time I'm going to my dad's on Sunday since the sepsis and everything. And I'm nervous. I want to see him because I have not met the puppy, and that is not an okay thing. They're not really considered, I think, a puppy anymore, because I think they may be around just before a year old. I can't remember. It's been that long since I went to see my dad. I think they got the puppy just before I got sepsis, so maybe not a year, but yeah. want to meet the puppy and also want to see my dad and stepmom and, you know, have dinner with them and enjoy ourselves and just, you know, hang out. I'm very aware of certain things that will impede the good of that visit. So, like, it's a good thing that I have a cat because I don't know if I could get off their toilet on my own. It's a good thing that I will use my walker to get in and out because their house is not accessible. But we also plan to get my wheelchair in there too, because I don't know if I sit on their couch or whatever, if I will be able to get myself up. And I don't know whether either my dad or B or anyone is going to be able to, like, you know, get me up enough for my body to work. So yeah, that sucks, but that's the way it goes right now. So yeah, that's going to be an exciting week for me because like I said, I haven't seen my dad and Rose since a while ago. I think they came to visit us around Easter, but yeah, I want to see the puppy. That is the main reason. I'd say don't tell my dad that. He knows. So the reason I want to come really badly is to see the puppy. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with uploading and captioning the AuthorTube video. The video for this channel is uploading in the background on a different browser. So hopefully I will be upstairs by 7, maybe, possibly. There are some things that I would need to do down here on Mondays anyway that I can somewhat easily do from my tablet. So that is always an option. Just the captioning, I think, as well is an option. If need be, I could do that in bed, but I don't particularly want to, which is, you know, a thing. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that, and I will catch you in the next one. Hello, it is August 5th. It's Wednesday, I think. Pretty sure on that one. I have been basically working this week. I had a really bad day yesterday. I had a very good therapy session. I was like ready to lie down and nap when I was done. It was a lot of sort of like dealing with trauma and approaching it head on. So of course it wipes you out. Kind of used to it now. But then everything that could go wrong went wrong with a bill, basically, and that just added all the stress. And it took me like 2.5 hours to finally get it sorted. And after that, it was basically, I felt like too late for me to nap without it having a big impact on like my sleep overnight. So I was just not happy. It doesn't help that the last like few weeks I've been on this struggle bus of trying to manage my pain and manage all the bits and pieces that need to be done and just keep on top of things. I had that life disability stuff to get finished off. Basically, it's now gone in the post and we got proof of postage because we don't trust the government. So that part of it is done. I just need to wait now and see what comes from it, and that's going to be a stressful, anxiety inducing however long it takes. But yeah, so I spoke to Pippa yesterday. She is my therapist. It was really good session. It was nice to sort of like talk about some of the things that sit in the back of my head that I don't generally voice out loud to either anyone in my life or anyone really. And I feel like talking to Pippa, I feel like the relationship we're developing, therapist to patient, it's a good one. It's a good one. I feel like she gets where I'm coming from. I don't like to use the word trauma when it applies to what happened in October, simply because I feel like claiming that makes it sound like I'm trying to make it into something that it wasn't. Saying that, I have noticed that since I've sort of like been dealing with all of this stuff, I have noticed that a lot of what I have gone through, not just like with October and all the rest of it, but all of, you know, my chronic illness life, yeah, you can call some of it like medical trauma. One thing Pippa brought up was that it really isn't fair that a lot of like getting the ducks in a row medically wise for me, not just for the hand, but overall, kind of falls on me. I have to, you know, chase up referrals. I have to make sure that if I need IV access, I arrange for that IV access to be done. People have mentioned before, that it's really sad that the hospital can't do it. And it's basically, for me, it boils down to I would rather do it because then I know it's done. And I've had too many experiences of trusting the hospital or a doctor or a department to do what they say they're going to do and then them not follow through. So now I've basically taken it as if I know that I'm having like a scan or something and I know that they're going to need IV access, then I will, once I've made the appointment, talk to the PIC team and say, hey, I'm going to be in this department, I'm going to need this, this, and this. And while I know that I'm lucky in the fact that because I've been under the same hospital for all my life, or at least the same NHS trust for all my life, and because I've been in and out of hospital for various reasons, and I've needed doctors and such in various specialties, I know a lot of people. I knew the PIC team even before I'd had a port. Like, they were already aware of me. I was already aware of them. So for me, it's like, I know these people and I know what to do, what to say, and all the rest of it. And it is true that when you are chronically ill, you do very much become a professional patient. That is your first full-time job, basically. And I guess with the way things went with the sepsis and the coma, etc., which I feel like even saying that makes it sound like I'm trying to make it into some big thing that it wasn't. I mean, Pippa said it yesterday. She's like, but it was a big thing because you almost died. You almost died, and you have these little like pieces of memories of trauma, and some of it was comforting. Like, we talked about how a number of times I had like these hazy, clips of memories of just my mum sat by my bed, saying nothing, but just holding my hand. And that, in those moments, just gave me a lot of comfort. I felt safe. I knew I was okay because my mum was there. And I know, talking to like B, my main carer, about like, what it was like when she visited me in the ICU and I was not aware, because my memory of like visits with B in hospital, like, we've been friends over 30 years. So she has been present for a lot of hospital visits. But my memories of that are usually, we'll chat or hang out. But if it's going to be sort of like a long visit, which she said some of the ones in ICU were, she'd read, we'd sit, we wouldn't always talk. And sometimes I'd have to sort of like push for conversation, and other times it was fine. And so I sort of said to her, what were you doing? And she was like, I was talking to you. I was filling you in all the things going on. I was telling you about what I was doing. I was keeping you up to date. And I guess, if I was ever aware of that, it would have been a comfort. It would have been a comfort because I'm going to be okay because my mum's here, my best friend's here, Mix K's there occasionally. Yeah. So I meant to do a clip yesterday, but it was just too much. I reached my limit and I knew that I just needed to rest, recharge, and come back to it. They've now dealt with the disability life admin, and like I said, it's just a waiting game now. They will reach out when they reach out. I do have a busy day on Friday. I have physio and then MIPO, so that's going to be a fun day. But yeah, we went out and we got proof of postage, and then there was a sale in the shop that the post office is in. So I bought a bunch of stuff because it was exceptionally cheap. And yeah, I'm now curled up in bed. I say curled up in bed. I'm sat in bed. I'm just going to either read or catch up on social media. Tomorrow is a work downstairs day. I think I'm doing book promo images, which I know I've showed you before, and I kind of want to hope maybe that I can do all of it downstairs tomorrow, but sometimes those images, they take time, and they take time that my back and neck, etc., don't want me to take. So I will have to post my video, which is the whole point of being down there. But we'll see how much of the promo I do in downstairs and how much I do in bed. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update, and I will speak to you later. Hello, It is August 6th. You can just about see in the corner I'm Miss Mink, who is keeping me company. So I know, like, every time I talk about doing book promo images, I'm like, oh, it doesn't take long. And then last time I took you along while I did it, it took forever. I seem to have perfected the waiting for the clips from this channel to appear on my computer so that I can transfer them around, because for a time I was frustrated because it would take me so long. And now that I've kind of like found what actually works and how long it actually should take and what I can do to minimize me basically making the task harder, it's been fine. It's been fine. It was like one of the first things I did today. It took at most 10 minutes. So yay. I just want to come on because I know I spoke about basically dealing with a lot of trauma and such. Yesterday afternoon, after I'd finished basically recording, I reached out to my mum to basically tell her what I told Pippa. What I think I shared with you guys was that, she would sit by my bed in ICU and hold my hand, and it just made me feel safe. So I just sent off a message to her, thanking her, Mink, really, and sort of saying, like, these are the snippets that I remember. There are some parts of ICU that I do remember that are kind of traumatizing, and they left me feeling like unsafe and stuff like that. It was nobody's fault. I want to be clear. It wasn't like someone doing something dodgy. It basically boiled down to the fact that I didn't know where I was. I didn't actually have the words to ask where I was. I felt terrible, and I didn't know these people, and they were moving me around and such. Yeah, so it wasn't that someone did something wrong. It was just that my brain was so not there at the time that it made it hard for me to separate what's good, what's not, and all the rest of it. And so my mum responded just before I went to bed, and it kind of opened up a bit of a conversation about some of the things that before saying that I wouldn't have even thought to ask or spoken about. And it made me cry because I knew without seeing her, my mum was crying, and that's always made me cry. But it was nice. It was nice to talk about it because I was like, I don't remember if there were any words said, because I don't, but it was just the act on its own that helped. Yeah, so it was a heartfelt conversation, and she shared some of the things that happened that, I'm not going to talk about here. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to sort of like share those memories and also show her the impact she had on my recovery. I feel like sometimes my mum will think that now that she's older, now that I'm older, that I don't really need her as much as I did when I was a kid and sick. And the answer is, oh yeah, I need you as much as I did when I was a kid and I was sick. So yeah, it was nice. Nice isn't the right word, but it felt good. But it is just before 6, and because it's also a shower day, I have to be back upstairs by 7, no matter what. So I think even though yesterday I talked about doing it all downstairs, that's not going to happen. I'm going to upload, make sure I have all the things in place. I'm going to post my video for the day, and then I will go upstairs and work on my tablet, and then it takes as long as it takes, basically. It's a pain because it is genuinely somewhat easier to work down here, but also my back, my neck, they say no. So yeah, and I don't want to miss the chance to shower either, because that's always fun. So yeah, I'm going to finish up and go upstairs and get ready to shower and all of that fun stuff. So I will catch you in the next one. Hello, it is August 7th, and yes, I'm aware that I'm very, very red-faced because it is bloody hot. I kept meaning to take you on to the hospital, but I get nervous about doing it in public, especially because obviously in a hospital, people are coming and going for various different things, and I don't want to accidentally share something of another person without their consent. So yeah, today I had the physio appointment and then I had Meepo. Meepo was just the usual Meepo. The physio appointment was bloody brilliant. It took like an hour. She went through everything. She asked questions. She's like chasing up with the hand team, and she ended up giving me a brace that will hopefully work on getting these 3 fingers straightened. I don't know whether it's possible. What she's saying is the joints at the very end of the fingers, of those 3 fingers in particular, are very stiff. And she was concerned that the reason they were stiff was because when I initially woke up, I wasn't doing anything. And of course, we corrected her that basically from like the moment I knew it was an issue, we were trying to do things to make it better. And so we have a plan. I'm basically supposed to wear the brace for whatever period of time works for, like, you know, pain levels and stuff like that, and then gently increase it as time goes on. I'm going to see her again in 4 weeks because that's when Meepo is again, so it lines up. So hopefully progress. We don't really know what to do beyond that because we don't really know what really genuinely caused it. We just know that it's something I have to deal with now. Sorry about that. B text from inside Lidl, which is where I am parked. Or we are parked because I don't drive anymore, to ask about basically the food that we were going to get. So yeah, that's my walker in the background. You can see I wanted to visit my mum and also get a bit more practice with the walker before we go to my dad's on Sunday. So yeah, mostly okay. I'm still not as secure with it as I would like to be, but I think a lot of that is because I had a very long day. I'm in a very massive amounts of pain because obviously the physio had to like really check movement in my hand. So yeah, she's got a few sort of like things that we can try when it comes to like helping get back to the way it was with like hot water baths and stuff like that to try and like loosen things up. But yeah, the brace looks really good. It looks like similar to the brace or similar to another brace that I bought when I didn't really know what the issue was. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep trying, and like I said, we'll see her again in 4 weeks. Hopefully we'll have some progress, but otherwise that's the way it goes. But I will catch you later. Hello, just in case the footage I tried to film outside Lidl while B was inside and every bugger and his wife kept walking past, and we have the windows open because it's bloody hot, and yes, it's definitely me driving. It's August 7th. I've had a day at the hospital for physio and Meepo. All went well with Meepo. It was actually really quick because we basically stayed at the hospital. My appointment with physio was at 10:30. We didn't actually get out of that until like 11:13, quarter to 12ish. So we had like, you know, a drink and such like that. But because we got upstairs to the Meepo place, we knew we were early. We told them we were early and we were fine to wait. But they got me in probably about 10 to 1. And then basically by about 1:30 it was done. So we went to my mum's and all the rest of it. I wanted to see her and get some more action on my walker, which is that wheel you can see in the background. She gave us a lot of information to work with, and I really appreciated that there were a couple of times when it felt like she was sort of like taking a track that wasn't there. Like she was saying that one of the reasons that the joints in my 3 fingers are so stiff is because I basically don't try and not stiff them. Is that a word? I don't fucking know. That's it. Basically because I don't try and straighten them. But I'm like, no, from like when I woke up and, you know, I was still in the hospital, my mum had already noticed that there was a problem with my hand/arm, and we were constantly and still are constantly trying to, you know, improve it. And so then she's kind of like, okay, yeah, it didn't really change what she was doing, but she gave us some things to use. So I've got to wear the brace. I should wear the brace, and, you know, for a period. I get to decide that because what she didn't want to do was say it has to be this long and this often, when if it caused pain I would not want to do that. So it all worked out, and it felt very positive. And she's seeing us again in 4 weeks, hopefully with the hand team, but if not, we'll make it do. So yeah, we're just stopping to get petrol, and of course every other bugger and his wife is going to be there too. So I'm gonna let you go, and I will speak to you later. Hello, it's August 9th. I did record a whole thing on my phone on the way back from seeing my dad today, and my phone apparently saved it in portrait mode. So, I decided to, edit it and make it landscape. And then the editing software that I use just does not agree with that. It just doesn't. It's just like, no matter what I do, the footage is going to be shit. So unless I like physically edit it downstairs on my computer, which just so you know, I don't want to do it. So yeah, that sucks. But sometimes that happens, and I did maybe think it might be a problem sound wise, because obviously we were outside, we were in the car, we were going past with the windows down. It just happens. But yeah, so I meant to record yesterday to take you along with us, but it was a really, really long day. Long story short, we found a car. We found a car that is under budget. We found a car that is basically the exact same model as the car we own now, except a few years younger, and also in much better condition. So yeah, the next week is basically going to be spent, doing all the life admin stuff that you have to do when you buy a car. And hopefully by next weekend, we will have our new car. We've already kind of decided that it's not ethically right that we sell our current car, onto somebody who might be like, thinking they're getting a deal because it would be so cheap. Because we know with some various certainty, even though there are no longer any like advisories or anything, we know the car will fail its MOT, which is due end of next month. And it will cost thousands probably to fix it. And I don't feel right passing on a car to someone for a cheap price who probably is desperate to have the transport, knowing that I am setting them up to have a really big bill that they probably can't pay. So yeah, we don't really know what we're going to do with our car at the moment. Possibly scrap, but yeah, there we go. But let's get to the important things, okay? So I went to see my dad today for the first time at his house since sepsis, and also since they got a puppy. And I haven't seen this puppy. I've seen a photo of this puppy. I hadn't seen this puppy. I didn't even know they were getting a puppy. They had two dogs, and then sadly the oldest one, died very suddenly. It just happened. And so I kind of assumed that, that would be the case. But anyway, Puppy is a doxy. Dolly is her name, but they also call her Dilly. And oh my God, was she excited to meet me. And oh my God, was I excited to meet her. So yeah, we had cuddles. We had snuggles. We had I am okay and I'm a good person. We had your walker smells of things that I'm not sure what they are, but I want it to smell of me now. So yeah, she is cute. She is lovely. She has little stairs to go up onto the couch because, both the baby and the breed. So yeah, I am glad that I have finally met the puppy. And like I was saying to Rose, she's my stepmom, I was saying, I don't actually remember when they got the puppy. I just know that it was very near when things went wrong for me. So yeah, happy about that. And I'm happy about having a car that hopefully will do well for us for a good few years. So yeah, and with it being quite a lot under budget, it means that we have some of the emergency money that we put aside. It's still there if we need it. So yes, I will take you along on the journey to getting the car that looks exactly like the car we have now. I mean, it's even the same bloody colour. On top of it, it's automatic. So one of the reasons we wanted, an automatic was because right now I am not driving. I don't yet feel recovered, safe, etc. And so I knew that when I went back to driving, even though I've driven an automatic once in my life, and that was simply because it was a car my stepmom lent to us when our current car was broken down and we needed to get Mix K to and from school. So I didn't like driving her automatic. It put me off automatics. But I'm also understanding that at this point, if I want to be able to safely drive, I need an automatic. So yeah. Just a really good day, really good deal. We're really happy about it. And looking forward to seeing what next week brings. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't share the clip of the car because, yeah. But that's it for this week. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.